We're coming on the air with this dangerous holiday storm in full gear. We're talking snow, high winds, plunging temperatures, flooding, and more. Take a look right now. This is a live look at Bismarck, North Dakota. Whiteout conditions you see there. Still some people on the road. We want to show you Kansas City, Missouri as well. And right now, 105 million people are under a winter weather alert because of this storm. That's about a third of the country. The National Weather Service is saying the storm could have potentially crippling impacts across the central and eastern U.S. I want to show you all the snow in North Dakota, pretty much deserted except for that one truck which looks stuck, and blowing snow you see there as well. I want to show you some video out of Kansas showing a morning commute, hard to even see the road ahead. One of the biggest concerns for officials, those widespread power outages that could last through Christmas for thousands, which could make things really life-threatening in areas across the Rockies and the northern plains. There will be Arctic-level cold air and freezing wind chills. President Biden earlier today warning Americans to take this seriously.
It's not like a snow day, you know, when you're a kid. This is serious stuff.
The timing of all this couldn't be worse. You've got the storm hitting on one of the biggest travel days of the holiday season. As we come on the air, we're seeing airlines have canceled more than 2,000 flights in and out of the U.S., delays in the thousands. For some people, the window to change their plans is closing.
It was really chaos. It was back and forth. And one minute, there's a flight at 8:30 or 6:45, and then a minute it's gone.
I have a partner going out west to Colorado, so I'm nervous about that one.
I'm happy I get to get out before, so I don't get stuck here in the blizzard.
We've got our team on the ground checking out how travel in the skies and on the roads are shaping up. Shaq Brewster driving through Benton Harbor, Michigan. Catie Beck is at Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. And we've got Bill Cairns here for the forecast. So, Shaq, let's start with you. Some people, they're planning to drive instead of fly. You've been driving all day. What are the conditions like?
Yeah. Well, Lindsay, we started the day just west of Chicago in the suburbs as we got those first few flurries, and then we went south of Chicago. Now we're in Michigan as we make our way along the road here. And I want you to look at the conditions we're dealing with, where it's no longer flurries that we're seeing. You see the snow covering the ground. The visibility has gone down dramatically. We're under a blizzard warning right now, and you see most of the cars on the road, for the most part, taking it slow, taking it easy as they go through these tough conditions. Now, what you're hearing from officials all across this region is concerned not just with the snowfall. Yes, there is going to be significant snow in some areas. We know in the Chicago area, they were expecting about an inch of snow an hour through the afternoon. So yes, that is a concern, but it's really the wind that is only going to increase in the hours to come. That is what drops that visibility and creates those whiteout conditions that we've been looking at for much of the day in other parts of the country. And then those plunging temperatures. That's what leads to black ice, and that's what makes the roads so treacherous. And that's the word that you're hearing from the National Weather Service, that travel at this time could be treacherous. So right now, the guidance that you're hearing from officials is that the time for preparing is quickly come to an end, and now it's the time to hunker down and to stay off the roads, or if you must travel, to keep it slow and take it easy while you're driving.
And, Shaq, we can see the snow levels out of the window there a little bit, and that sliver. Obviously, the truck is blocking it now. But how are people you've been talking to preparing for this? I mean, there's snow that region is used to, and then there's this.
Exactly, and you know, this is an area that is used to snow, but in terms of the blizzard warning that we're seeing, this is the first blizzard warning that they've seen in over 5 years here in the Benton Harbor area. So this is more than what they are used to dealing with. And what you're seeing from different states in the region, for example, Indiana, they activated their National Guard. They have pre-positioned folks along the highways so that when drivers get stranded, if they're on the roads, that there's some assistance for those drivers. As we were going through the Chicago area, we saw plows in the morning pre-positioned on those exit ramps and those exit ramps, and then they started to very quickly be on the road. And we'll switch to the front camera right now, and you can actually see there's some emergency vehicles off to the side here. It doesn't look like there was any crash just yet. Actually, I see there was one car that actually completely slid off the road and is in the embankment on the right side there. So that is the concern. Officials are saying, take it slow, take it easy, because even if you do that, when you're dealing with black ice, when you're dealing with that low visibility, it's still a dangerous condition on the roads, and that danger is only expected to increase as we get into the evening and overnight hours, Lindsay.
All right, Shaq, you and your crew stay safe. Thank you so much. Let's go now to Catie Beck at Reagan International Airport. So, Catie, we mentioned a third of Americans are under a winter alert. You've also got a third of Americans on the move ahead of Christmas. What's the travel situation like across the country?
Well, it's certainly getting worse here at Reagan. We saw this morning that most flights were on time. There were very few cancellations and delays, and that departure board has changed pretty drastically over the day, as has the temperature. You can definitely sense that it's getting colder, the wind's picking up, and that departure board has a lot more red writing on it than it did at 7 this morning. Still overall here, the day at Reagan has been pretty normal. Flights have had a pretty normal pattern, but like Shaq said, the weather is getting worse, and this is a hub to so many places. So if you are traveling from D.C. to anywhere in the Midwest, to Denver, to Chicago, to Detroit, those airports are going to be backlogged and jammed by tomorrow morning if planes are not able to get in and out. We know that Chicago preemptively canceled 500 flights today, and that the airlines were actually waiving change fees so that passengers would perhaps move their flights up earlier and getting ahead of this weather and trying to reduce the number of people that are going to be stranded or canceled, trying to reschedule on Christmas Eve. So, Lindsay, things here are still in the mild category in terms of disruption, but will that last through the night and into tomorrow? Likely not.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.